Dynamic. A lot of media, mainly in movies, animes, and shows, have music that is specifically composed for certain scenes. And because each scene will look the same to everyone watching it, the soundtrack will also sound the same. In other words, the music is consistent for everyone. But in video games, every playthrough will be different for everyone because you as a player have control over how fast or slow things are. Unless they're unskippable. God damn it! In general, this means that every playthrough is different for everyone, even if only slightly. More importantly, this means that the music has to match what's going on at any moment in the game. Wow. This imposes the question, how do you make music that matches with what's going on in the game? You don't. Well, kind of. Instead of having the music be one big unchanging track, games often use a set of shorter tracks that can be swapped to match the current mood of the game. This can have the effect of having the music match the game, rather than flow with it as it does with traditional media. A lot of games take the path of interrupting the current song to play the new theme, which is effective if done right. But some games go even further and make the transition between the two tracks even more impactful, changing based on what's going on in the current moment. This, my friends, is known as dynamic music. And boy, do I have a lot to say about dynamic music. Octopath Traveler is a really neat game aesthetically. I'm not usually a stickler for graphics, but the way that this game is presented, as a retro world with modern lighting and effects, I gotta say, it's pretty dang cool! And don't even get me started on the music. Oh, you got me started on the music. Dude! Holy frick, my guy! Every song absolutely slaps. From quiet frozen tundras to bustling towns, this game has a soundtrack that somehow catches the magic of retro game music with a modern orchestral mix. And that shit's crazy, bro! I've never heard that in a video game before. But of course, the highlight of any JRPG soundtrack lies in the battle music. So each of the game's 8 characters have a theme song associated with them, often with a main instrument to them. A leitmotif, if you will. When you get to the boss sections, before the actual fight, a variation of the character's leitmotif starts, depending on whoever's story you're following at that moment. This variation is usually faster and more intense while still keeping the idea of the character's theme. While it is cool that the devs decided to basically make 8 more short tracks, you wouldn't think too much about it until you start the fight, and this happens.
It's time you learned that money is might!
Bro. Yeah! I'm pretty sure everyone can agree that this is, as they say in the industry, poggers. But wait! There's more! Each of the 8 character themes are also able to transition into 5 completely different boss themes. Take a goddamn listen, my friend.
None of your potions or bandages will patch you up when I'm done with you! Ah!
You're such a sentimental fool!
Maybe I am a fool. But trust is a sentiment I want to believe in. And it's one worth fighting for. You ready for this?
That just makes this already great game just so much more memorable with just that one tiny addition to the soundtrack. Mario Kart, since its inception, has had small glimpses of dynamicism in its music through the transition into the final lap. It's a very simple method too. Put on a jamming track, and on the final lap, play a little jingle. Then play it again, but faster. Granted, it was a good way to increase the tension of races while saving on memory space, but that was really it. That is, until Mario Kart Wii. Wait, that's 8. Fuck. This game was the first in the game's history to use dynamic music that wasn't just to speed up the music for the final lap. We used... Wii U. Fuck. This is stupid. That joke sucks. We use dynamic music not during the games, but in... The menu music in this game is pretty cool because it follows you as you navigate through the menu. Sure, it's very simple in its nature, adds more instruments as you advance through them, getting more intense as you get closer to starting a race. But that little detail adds so much charm to it. It's like the music is revving up along the racers. This dynamicism eventually found its way into Mario Kart 8, and even though the evolving menu music didn't stay, they added a front-runner drum beat whenever you have a decent lead. Underwater variations. A little extra flair for tracks, like Music Park, Electrodome, and etc. And Mount Wario, which is 100% a dynamic track the whole way through, evolving with each lap and culminating into a huge climactic finish. What the hell, Nintendo? Give me some of that shit. Now make your games cheaper, please. I want to play them without losing my wallet.
I enjoy horror movies. They always like to lead the audience in its very suspenseful music.
What? How did you get here?
But nowadays, you don't only have to watch a horror movie to experience these suspenseful scenes, but also a lot, and I mean a lot, of horror games. Most horror games have a chase scene, and this is usually accompanied by chilling music that most of the time is indicated by the music that starts to pick up. But there is a game that really excels in this, that is more action than horror, but still has and uses those elements well.
Who the hell puts an evac station up 30 flights of goddamn stairs?
Skill issue, lol.
Left 4 Dead has been a very popular IP by Valve for more than 15 years, and even now still has a very good player base. Being a zombie game, it has its common zombies, but it also has special infected that do a bunch of different skills, such as pouncing, charging, vomiting, and other fun stuff like that. But each special infected comes with its own jingle. Personal favorite goes to the Hunter, with its screeching violin to alert you of its presence.
Seriously though, how'd you get here?
There are two boss special infected in the game, the Tank and the Witch. The Tank is the epitome of a boss, with great music to boot, but the Witch music is something so drastically different. It begins with her just crying to herself. With the music starting to get louder as you get closer to her.
You guys hear me?
As you get close enough to her, she'll get more and more aggravated, and the music gets more intense, and then the chase begins, as a quick drum beat plays as she screams and chases you. Intense as shit.
Really insightful stuff, my dude. It's always crazy to see the immense detail that Valve games bring to the table. Wait, go away! This is my script! Something that I've learned while researching for this topic, and by that I mean watching other people's dynamic music videos, go watch them by the way, links in the description, is that dynamic music usually comes in two forms, horizontal and vertical. For simplicity's sake, horizontal dynamic music is when the music changes from one loop to another, usually with a smooth transition into it, whereas vertical dynamic music adds or changes the feel of one loop without altering the general tune. Man, if only there was a game that perfectly illustrates these two concepts that I could put into this video right now. No Straight Roads is a game that I played in the 2 years that I've been writing the script, and I love it. Yeah, it's not the most polished. How did I get here? But god damn it, that boss music slaps. I mean, you also get to fight a child. I mean, what more do you want from this game? It's like the best game ever, 10 out of... Let's take a look at one of the bosses in this game. Sayu, who's this game's interpretation of Hatsune Miku, basically an anime mermaid. The music starts after you're introduced to her via cutscene, which is a loop of the intro of the song. Nothing too special. But then, as you continue your pursuit against her, destroying her code along the way, this also changes the music by the way, the music starts horizontally shifting to its second phase, moving from the intro loop to the phase 2 loop. The same thing happens for phases 3 and 5, as you destroy more files of code, run away from her and her fans, and finally face off against her one last time, as each music's phase loop becomes more lively and even glitching out a bit during the 5th phase, which is a nice touch. Now let's get vertical. I don't know why I made that sound. Whatever. Have you considered adding your own vertical dynamicism to the game? Big thinking emoji? Thonking, as they say? One of my absolute favorite parts of this game is the fact that you can hold the Y button, or whatever the transform button is on whatever the system you're playing, at any time during gameplay, and Mayday or Zook will transform certain objects by doing a guitar or drum solo that plays the tune of the music. Yeah, that's right, this game has a built-in dynamic music button, which adds vertical dynamicism by adding an instrument to it.
Now, as you know, I love fighting games, and one thing I love about fighting games is the music. A lot of the tracks used for them are hype, and as they should be.
Dude, how do you keep getting...
There is nothing like a good track to go with you absolutely beating the nonsense out of someone, and there is no better example of music in an FG than
Killer instinct.
Killer Instinct is one of the games that I love, but one thing that this game does is something that I've never seen in a fighting game do before. The music in the game changes based on what's happening at the moment of the match. First thing is how aggressive both players are being, so if they are attacking or just standing there. For example, here's what happens when you start the game and do absolutely nothing.
Ready. Fight.
And this is what happens when you start to move and attack. But if you thought that was it, no. Because the music also changes when you combo break, counter break, and even shadow break. Even just going through the options in the pause menu plays the notes that make up the main theme.
I think the most modern example of dynamic music in fighting games is in Them's Fightin' Herds, a small little indie game where you play as My Little Pony OCs that were actually drawn by the original creator of MLP. Once you get past the brony stigma, you'll find that this game is incredibly polished with an in-depth tutorial, a story mode that subtly teaches you how to deal with character archetypes, gameplay that is designed by people who have a good amount of knowledge in fighting games, characters that have designs and personalities based on the characters from the show, even having their fighting style based on their personalities, and the music. Holy balls, the music. The music is fully dynamic in the main parts of the game, present in the character selection screen and in the matches. Similar to Octopath Traveler, each character has a main motif to him, in the form of a music style. So in the character select screen, there's a basic beat that plays, nothing special, just a steady and constant beat. You'll soon come to realize that this beat is actually dynamic, as whenever you and your opponent choose a character, their character's themes start playing on top of the base theme. And that's not even the half of it. Literally. Even depending on which side the character is on, the motif plays a different melody, meaning that even mirror matches have a unique tune to it in the character select menu. And if you're wearing headphones, the motifs actually play on the left and the right, which is a nice touch. Then you pick a stage, and even before the fight begins, while the characters are doing their intros, their motifs play in tandem to the opening of the song.
I reckon you're in for a wrecking. Let us break the ice.
Round 1.
The match begins, and even now there's some dynamicism to the song. If one of the players has a health lead over the other, the character's motif starts playing to the tune of whatever song is playing, and it can even switch to the other character's motif if they take the health lead. And it doesn't even end there. Doing a big combo drowns out the music, acting as if the player doing the combo enters the zone. The final round plays a more intense version of the theme when both players are one win away from taking the round.
KO. Y'all are cruising for a hiney whooping.
Final round.
Fight. Gotcha.
If you add that to what I've said earlier, and the fact that when the round is over, the winning character's motif plays to the end of the song,
It's over now.
Was it good for you too?
Velvet wins. Rematch?
and the music becomes more subdued like Killer Instinct when the players are idle. God damn, that's a lot of dynamicism. There's a whole slew of games with dynamic music, and we'd probably be here forever if we were to talk about it. But I do want to get this video done sometime this decade, so instead here's a lightning round of cool games with dynamic music. Which I was gonna do, but the video is already kind of pushing 20 minutes, and I'm not even like halfway done editing it, so probably not the best idea for audience retention. Not that I care, I just want to show off dynamic music, but for the sake of your sanity and mine, I'm probably not going to do it. So maybe in a part 2, like in the near or distant future. But for now, games with dynamic music are always a treat, so keep your ears open next time you play a game. You might hear something pretty cool. What are your thoughts about dynamic music? Let me know in the comments below. And hey, you know what? I never say this, but thanks for watching. Take care of yourself. Alright, goodbye.
I've been dead for 10 seconds.
What? Cringe.
JD responded.
Double cringe.